Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Queues are getting longer at petrol stations across the country as Nigerians continue to grapple with the effect of fuel scarcity nationwide. The Department of Petroleum Resources vows to sanction filling stations hoarding petroleum products and those selling at rates higher than the fixed price. Lagosians lament heavy traffic caused by long queues at filling stations and the last-minute rush for the festive season. Our United Nations imposes fresh sanctions on North Korea over missile program. Just a quick reminder to you that for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. And log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device, or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. We also have access to the Eyewitness feature, with which you can share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and then follow the instructions. Well, the fuel scarcity is biting hard, so it's no surprise that most of the pictures sent into us reflect this situation. And let's begin with this one from Yola, the Adamawa state capital, showing a long queue of cars, which according to our Eyewitness reporter is from an NNPC filling station dispensing in the area. The next image is from Delta State, showing an almost empty NNPC filling station in Udu local government area. Our Eyewitness reporter claims petrol is being sold for over 230 naira per litre there and wants the Department of Petroleum Resources to address the situation. And still in Delta State is this photo of a filling station in the Warri area, which our Eyewitness reporter claims has been hoarding fuel, and he wants the authorities to have a look at that. We move on to Ebonyi State with this picture of a meter showing the price at which fuel is being sold. Our Eyewitness reporter wants the DPR to come to their rescue because, according to them, the prices keep going up daily. And let's end with this photo from a filling station along the Iwaya Road in Yaba area of Lagos State. The picture shows gallons lined up to be filled with petrol, and this shows the extent of the scarcity. Thanks a lot for all your pictures, and do keep them coming into us. Kaduna State in Nigeria's northwest is the latest addition to the federal government's digital broadcasting switchover plan, as the state now follows the trail of Kwara, Jos and Abuja. The Director General of the National Broadcasting Commission, Modibo Kau, says the initiative will help provide more channels for the people of Kaduna State. On his part, the chairman of the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria, Mr. John Momo, insists that the digital switchover must be funded by the government.
It's a new revolution in modern broadcasting, and Nigeria is not only keen into it, but positioning itself for a proper transition to digital broadcasting. Only 2 days ago, the nation witnessed the switchover launch in Ilorin, the Kwara state capital. And now it's the turn of Kaduna State.
Macbeth.
Present here are broadcasting chiefs, Governor of Kaduna State, the Minister of Information, Director General of the Nigeria Broadcasting Corporation, and the Chairman of the Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria.
Make the set-top boxes available to the citizens of Kaduna State.
For the NBC, the Kaduna digital switchover is a win-win situation.
Nigeria's young and creative community are increasingly understanding the importance of the opportunities that the digital process can portend for our future. So let me reiterate that we're deploying 2 multiplexes of 30 channels for our viewers in Kaduna. These represent local, regional, and national channels. And that is the model that we have adopted for Nigeria's digital switchover.
DTV is more advanced than the older analog technology, which uses a continuous variable signal, and experts state the obvious advantage.
So when you purchase a set-top box here, you have to call a call center and give them the unique identity number of your set-top box, which is already domiciled in their database. If it's not one of those that emanated from the Nigerian factories, it will not be activated.
We are fully committed to the huge task ahead, but seek the understanding of the National Broadcasting Commission to comply with the policy of the federal government set out clearly in the white paper. Doing this is not only fair and equitable, but also assures that we shall distribute digital terrestrial signal nationwide with very minimal delay.
The broadcasting community is not only open to this new way of doing things, it also wants the public to know the benefits. And the chairman of BON, Mr. John Momo, insists that government must fund the process.
We expect an increase in the capacity of broadcast transmission networks by improving spectrum efficiency. In other words, more data can be transmitted per unit. The digital switchover only works if it is government-led. And there has to be a clear legislation, regulation, and overall coordination body in place. And I'm happy to note that this is happening. But I must emphasize that government must, and I repeat, government must fund the DSO process.
The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, emphasizes that content is a key factor, while the host governor, Nasir El-Rufai, promises to support the initiative.
With over 200 channels, they will need to be fed with content such as documentaries, such as sitcoms, such as, music videos and the rest. And this would actually bring out the best in our young population.
So what I think needs to be explored is some kind of financial engineering that would enable the acquisition of these set-top boxes and payment over longer periods of time so that more and more of our poorest people would be able to afford it. I think the state governments will do what they can, but realistically not every state will be able to do so.
4 states and the Federal Capital Territory have now experienced a digital switchover, leaving 31 other states where the federal government has promised to make inroads soon.
Now let's cross over to Abuja. Here's Gloria Umezoke. Gloria.
Hello, Ijoma. The president has a message for his supporters, and it is for them to know that their long-suffering commitment and sacrifices over the years will be remembered by posterity. President Muhammadu Buhari was speaking during the visit of a team of his long-term supporters, the Governance Support Group, to the presidential villa in Abuja. A statement from the president's special advisor on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, quotes the president as saying that his administration has ushered in a new era of accountability and responsibility by auditing and correcting the many wrongs of the past that crippled the country's economy. The president told the group to remain steadfast and committed to the country's cause for greatness. The group is also asking the president to ensure that government policies work for the common man.
So we come to him from time to time. We tell him what his officers holding public offices cannot tell him, or his family. You remember when he was about talking to us, you all withdrew because we were going to tell him the home truth, something that not many can tell him. We were able to tell him.
We took the pains to tell him some very critical truths. We told him some areas where we think there is need to put in more strength, more effort. Because definitely the task is onerous. The hill we are climbing is very stiff, but it is a task that must be done.
Well, reactions are still trailing the recent approval of $1 billion from the excess crude account by state governors to fight Boko Haram insurgents in the northeast. The recent one is coming from the senator representing Borno South Senatorial Constituency in the National Assembly, Senator Ali Ndume. And he says the money in question is only a drop in the ocean compared to the level of devastation brought about by the activities of Boko Haram in the northeast. He is insisting that no amount is too much to spend on securing the country.
To commend the governors for looking and coming to the aid of the federal government, cooperating with the federal government to approve this withdrawal of $1 billion from the excess crude account. That translates to about 305 billion naira. But if you look at what the international community have contributed so far to the humanitarian crisis in the Northeast, as at today, the international community have contributed $714 million. That is more than half of what is $1 billion. I think you understand. And the humanitarian crisis in the Northeast is what this money is meant for. It is not money that is meant otherwise if we had peace.
The Managing Director of the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, Mr. Nuruddin Rafindadi, has been speaking on the agency's plan for road maintenance in 2018. It says the agency plans to prioritize its maintenance routine in the coming year to guarantee safer highways for Nigerians. He identifies more than 450 bad spots across the country, which he says FEMA will be fixing in collaboration with other government agencies.
We are just preparing a program of rehabilitation as we see it. If you notice, I did not mention kilometers, because one of the concepts of FEMA is you have a corridor of a 100-kilometer journey, and there are just 1 or 2 or 3 extremely bad spots that render the entire corridor of 100 kilometers effectively a horrendous journey. And we see our value and our mandate in clearing those bad spots so that we open up the entire 100 kilometers, and that is how we count our gains. That is different from rehabilitating the entire 100 kilometers. Okay, so we count this in the number of bad spots, washouts, pothole, concentrated sections that we repair, or that we intend or plan to repair. And at the last count, we had anything between 380 to 450 bad spots identified and documented and prepared and costed.
When the News at 10 returns, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State launches Rivers Shore Protection Program in 5 ravaged communities. That's after the break. Let's join us again.